Hey, it's February and this month's theme is hearts. Hearts, yay, all the hearts. You're probably thinking that I'm going to talk about stuff that I love or things related to Valentine's Day. No, just no. Hearts are actually really interesting, and one of my favorite things about them is that they're all so different. I love animals, and I love really interesting facts about animals, as you may or may not know, so I'm going to teach you some cool things about animal hearts. There is actually an animal that has 5 hearts. Sort of. So there are actually a lot of different types of circulatory systems. They all have the job of getting blood or whatever else your body needs through your body. And earthworms have a really interesting one. They have 5 aortic arches. You can think of these like hearts, and they're in a really specific place in the earthworm in a certain range of segments. Side tangent. That thing about cutting the earthworm in half and it living as 2 different earthworms. No, you've just got 2 still wriggling in death throe halves of an earthworm. Don't do that. Just don't. An animal that has 4 hearts is called a hagfish. Now, hagfish looks kind of like an eel. It's this long grayish brown type fish, and it has 1 primary heart and then 3 accessory pumps. So it has 4 hearts of a sort that work to get all the blood through its system. An animal that has 3 hearts would be a squid or an octopus. So octopuses and squids, and yes, octopuses is a correct plural of octopus, are mollusks, and they have a primary heart as well, kind of like the hagfish, and then they have 2 gill hearts that pump blood specifically for their gills, which I think is really fascinating. Other than Time Lords, there's no known species that naturally has 2 hearts, other than some genetic mutations and situations like that. However, there are some humans that have 2 hearts. These are called piggyback hearts, and it usually happens when there is something wrong with the person's heart that they were born with, and they will actually get a donor heart that goes in and sits right beside their original heart and either helps it pump or takes the place of the other heart. There was actually a case in 2005 of a girl who had gotten a donor heart 10 years earlier, and her body started to reject the donor heart. They removed it, hooked her original heart back up, and it had had a 10-year rest, so it was doing great and pumped along like it was supposed to. So of course, vertebrates generally have 1 heart naturally occurring. You've got frogs and lizards, which have 3 chambered hearts. You've got turtles, birds, and mammals, including humans, that have 4 chambered hearts. And even though we just have the 1, it still plays a really important role in our lives. And I kind of love it. See, you thought I wasn't going to talk about love at all. Yeah. And then, of course, there are animals with no heart. And my favorite example of this is the jellyfish. Jellyfish are just so weird and wonderful and interesting, and I wish I could talk about jellyfish for longer, but they don't have a heart the way we think of traditionally as a heart. Some other cool things about animal hearts. The blue whale has the biggest heart, and it beats 6 to 7 times per minute. That's about 1/10 the number of times that ours beats per minute, which is about 60 to 70. A hummingbird, on the other hand, has a heart that will beat 1,000 times a minute, and it has one of the smallest hearts. Your heart will beat an average of about 3 billion times in your lifetime. This is mind-boggling to me, 3 billion times, and it's just the size of your fist. So that's pretty neat. The blue whale that I mentioned earlier has a heart roughly the size of a VW bug, and the hummingbird has a heart about the size of a grain of rice, just to give it a little perspective. So that's some stuff that I learned about hearts. I hope that you've learned a thing or two as well. Go sign up for the current pen pal round. The link will be in the doobly-doo, and I will see you at Geek Girl Pen Pal Club. Bye. I am such a dork. I can't even tell when I'm recording and I'm wasting battery. This battery is so low, it's scary.